This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Mintz.
It was just a flash. If I had been blinking at that exact moment, there is no way I would have seen it. A spark, a blip, an enigma in the middle of my kitchen. I walked over and held out my hand, expecting to be guided by the warmth of whatever it was. To my surprise, I felt it. Something. It was electrical. It was buzzing. I felt it on my fingertips. I followed it. It was moving throughout the room, looking for somewhere to settle. Then it did so, out of the kitchen, towards the living room and over on the couch. I placed a palm down on the fabric, still buzzing. I sat on the lounge thinking it was an invitation. Blip, I was transported to another place, another time. Just as fast as the blip had appeared, I was gone in the flash of another. A desert, sandy, sun beating down upon me, hot. The cool of the air-conditioned house evaporating off me. I held a palm up to cover my eyes from the heat of the sun. I stood up, blip, out. Back in my lounge room, as fast as I had arrived in the sun-drenched desert, I was out once again. Shaking my head, I did not just imagine that. I sat back down on the couch, blip, back in the desert, under the hot sun. A cloud came, covering the heat. I wasn't blinded as much. I looked around, a panorama. It was the desert. Nothing in any direction. I stood again, blip, home. I sat, blip, desert. The cloud coverage continued, and I could see a figure on the horizon, blurry at first, from the heat, but slowly coming into frame. Whoever it was on horseback. I waited, watched. They came closer and closer. I could make out who they were. Dusty, dirty, a traveler, someone from another time. He was within talking distance now. "You one of Nighthawk's men?" he asked. He was hurt. He was bleeding from the belly. Blood was trickling down his side, leaving a trail. I stood up to help him. "Are you Blip?" I was home. I sat back down. Blip, the cowboy, reappeared. He was not as impressed with this feat as I was. He was more concerned with his health. It was dwindling. "Nighthawk," he whispered. His hand was on his side, and he held it there. He slouched forward. I would stand up, but I tried to explain. No use. He wasn't listening anyway. He fell from his horse, and I watched him hit the sand hard. He let out a pant as he landed, letting go of his last breath. "Beware of Nighthawk's men," he said. He wasn't looking at me. He was staring off into the horizon from his view on the desert floor. He died right there, letting out the last of his breath. I nudged him with my foot. I wanted the coffee I had just made on the counter of my kitchen. But this man had just died. But where was I? Why was I here? I was about to stand, to rid myself of this anomaly, when I saw 3 riders on the horizon approach, all on horseback, all wearing hats, all riding faster than this man who had strolled over, thanks to his wound. Good, they can take care of him. I'll stand now and maybe pay a visit here later when my head clears and I can figure out what the hell is going on. A gunshot rang out and landed at my feet. Another landed past my shoulder. I could hear the bullet ricochet off some rocks I didn't recognize were nearby. "Stay where you are," one of the men yelled. They rode up and pulled their horses next to the fallen cowboy. "You murder this man?" He was wanted in 3 states for horse theft and robbery. "You interfered with an active investigation," said the first cowboy. He was more sophisticated than the others, but only because he had a cleaner shave. All of them presented their stars on their collars. It was evident from that point that I was somehow hundreds of years before my time. "McCain, go find us a tree to hang this criminal. Now," he instructed. One of the riders trotted off. I wasn't worried. I knew my escape. "Sir, if I could just explain," I tried to say, but was subdued. "No, you may not. Your clothing is foreign. This suggests to me you are a blasphemer. We don't take kindly to blasphemers around these here parts. I will deal your justice swiftly," he said as he dismounted his horse. "May I stand, sir?" I asked. "No, you may not," he said, drawing his pistol and pointing it right at me. "Sir, I am unarmed. There is no way I harmed this man. You can search me," I said. I pleaded. "No need, he died here, and you were here when it happened. What good would it do me to search you?" "Probably threw your pistol away on the sight of us approaching," the man suggested. His apprentice returned. "No trees anyway, Captain," he reported. The captain spat. "Guess we gon' have to do you the Mexican way," he explained. "A Mexican hanging." They drew rope from their horses. One of them walked over behind me and laced a noose around my neck, and the other ran a loop over my legs, binding them together. With their separate ends, they each mounted their horses and positioned themselves in opposite directions. "Any last words before I let my men tear you apart?" the captain asked. Shocked, I didn't know what to say. I wanted to wet myself. I think I might have already done so. "So be it," the captain said. He cocked his pistol and fired it in the air. The horses bolted in unison. They sprinted in each direction. I was lifted in the air, anticipating the destruction. The rip, the pain, blip. The force drew me high enough that I escaped the desert and was brought back into my living room. I landed on the couch. The ropes had broken off where some kind of force field ended. I jumped off the couch and moved away from it. I removed the ropes from my neck and legs frantically. I trailed back slowly so as not to be anywhere near that area of the house. I sat on my coffee table and listened to my panting breath and waited for it to slow. I noticed my pants, wet in the crotch. To be expected. I almost died, I told myself. I could have easily died. Right now, I remembered my gun, my safe. I could get it and go back. I was in my closet, typing in the code. It was instinct. I hadn't thought about what I was doing. I placed the 9mm in my hand, cocked the chamber, making sure it was loaded. The safety was off. I walked back to the couch. I looked down on it. I waited. Did I want to do this? Yes. I sat on the couch and was back on the floor of the desert. The riders had ridden back, galloping slowly. The captain had his back turned. One of the riders whistled in my direction. The captain turned. "What kind of dark magic is this?" he asked me. I had my weapon pointed at him. I unloaded 5 bullets into his chest. The riders took off. I nabbed the one who tied my feet up with 2 hits. He fell off his horse immediately. The other was too far away, although I unloaded the rest in his direction until I was clicking empty rounds. I couldn't go over to check the first rider was dead, but I stood up as if I was about to. Blip, back in my living room, the gun still in my hand. The coffee was on the kitchen bench. It would be cold by now. Still worth it. Did I just kill someone? Drink some coffee. Think about it. Impossible. Your couch is not a time machine. The coffee was cold. The captain had been killed. The couch was a time machine. I had to deal with these facts along with everything else. The doorbell rang. Stacy. Our date. I had forgotten. My pants were wet. I had killed someone. The doorbell rang again.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.